The Ministry of Energy hopes that the anti-corruption investigation by NABU and SAP in the energy sector will be objective and impartial. This official position of the agency was voiced by the relevant minister Svytlana Hrinchuk. She noted that she is not aware of the details of the investigative actions at the Energoatom company. Let me remind you, the day before, the National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine announced that, together with the Specialized Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office, it was conducting a large-scale operation to uncover corruption in the energy sector. The NABU stated that the activities of a high-level criminal organization have been documented and more than 70 searches have been conducted. According to investigators, the main activity of the group was the systematic receipt of illegal benefits from Energoatom's counterparties, amounting to 10 to 15% of the contract values.
The company is providing full cooperation with all investigative actions, supplying all the necessary requested documents, and there is no resistance or concealment whatsoever. The company is completely open to working with law enforcement agencies. At the same time, I want to remind you that our energy system is under severe, massive attacks. And of course, any events that take place at Energoatom, as the key company providing more than 50% of the necessary generation for the energy system, are under everyone's scrutiny. And naturally, for me, as the Minister of Energy, it is very important that investigative actions are conducted transparently and openly. And all individuals, if such are identified, and if their guilt is proven, of course. Zero tolerance for corruption. Everyone must be held accountable.
Punishment for corruption must be inevitable, both in the energy sector and in other industries. This is how President Volodymyr Zelenskyy responded to the NABU and SAP investigation. He called on government officials to work together with law enforcement.
Any effective actions against corruption are very much needed. The inevitability of punishment is necessary. Energoatom currently provides Ukraine with the largest share of energy generation. Cleanliness within the company is a priority. The energy sector and every industry, everyone who has built schemes, must receive a clear procedural response. There must be verdicts. And government officials must work together with NABU, together with law enforcement agencies, and work in the way that is necessary to achieve results.
Prime Minister Yulia Svyrydenko also responded to the investigation, stating that the government expects results from procedural actions and prompt updates regarding the situation with Energoatom. She added that the Cabinet of Ministers is ready to assist NABU and SAP in the investigation. Former French President Nicolas Sarkozy has been released. He stated that he still believes in his innocence and will fight for acquittal. Sarkozy thanked his supporters for their support and announced that he is preparing an appeal against the verdict in the case regarding the financing of his 2007 election campaign with funds from Libya. A court in Paris allowed the former president to leave La Santé prison, where he had been held since the end of October, pending the appeal hearing.
New details have emerged about Operation Midas. NABU and SAP have announced the exposure of a high-level criminal organization operating in the energy sector. Its members set up a corruption scheme to influence the activities of Energoatom. Currently, 5 people have been detained and 7 members have been notified of suspicion. The leader of this organization has been identified by the nickname Carlson. According to the statement, he was the one who controlled the operation of the scheme where the obtained funds were laundered. From an apartment on the upper floors of a building on Hrushevsky Street in Kyiv, Carlson decided to whom and how much cash should be given or transferred. He also coordinated influence over officials of central government bodies to resolve issues in his own interests, particularly in the energy and defense sectors.
It was there that the individuals who needed to receive or be transferred funds, as well as the amounts, were determined. Cash was also delivered there, which had previously arrived at the Sugarman office. Moreover, this very residence served as the place where Carlson, during personal meetings with the heads of central executive authorities, exerted influence over them without any legal grounds.
Let me remind you, the day before, NABU and SAPO detectives announced the exposure of an organization that was receiving unlawful benefits from Energoatom's contractors in the amount of 10 to 15% of the value of the contracts signed. In total, about $100 million passed through such schemes. According to the investigation, the criminal organization included, in particular, current and former officials from the energy sector, a businessman, a former advisor to the Minister of Energy, and the Executive Director for Physical Protection and Security of Energoatom. The Supervisory Board of Energoatom is convening a special meeting to initiate an independent review of all operations and an audit conducted by the National Nuclear Energy Generating Company. This is stated in the official statement of Energoatom. This was their response to the NABU's announcement about uncovering a large-scale corruption scheme influencing strategic state-owned enterprises, including Energoatom.
Only today did I have to write such an official statement, a demand, and today it is being convened. That is, after the first news yesterday, we should have, as I suggested yesterday in my statement, issued a declaration. I wrote the text to create a forensic committee, like the one that was set up, for example, when Private Bank was investigated, when money was withdrawn from Private Bank. So the same kind of committee with the same kind of specialists, and to investigate all this independently of everyone.
The Ministry of Justice of Ukraine confirms that with the participation of Minister Herman Halushchenko, investigative actions were carried out as part of a criminal proceeding. However, for now, he is refraining from making public comments due to the need to maintain the confidentiality of the pre-trial investigation.
The minister is providing full cooperation to law enforcement agencies to ensure a comprehensive, objective, and impartial investigation. The Ministry of Justice consistently adheres to a zero-tolerance policy towards corruption. If guilt is established, those responsible must be held accountable in accordance with the procedure established by the court.